quality has immense importance, as I already mentioned before. Without quality, no organization can sustain its products and services. So we need to work really very hard to improve our quality, and it is a continuous improvement process. So let's begin our today's lecture with a little review. We talked about the Arnold Palmer Hospital, that how with the different tools of the total quality management, they ensured the continuous improvement in their hospital, and that is why it was one of the top maternity hospital in USA. Quality and strategy, you include quality so that it is become the organization practices. It's very, very important. You need to define quality implications, that what are the implications we have of quality. And Malcolm Bridge National Quality Award is basically the award for the companies or for the organizations who achieve the standard of quality. Cost of quality is very, very important. You need to understand there is a cost of not following or not including quality in your product and services. There is a huge cost, and which you need to understand. There is an argument that whenever you want to improve the quality of your products and services, you need to invest more, but that is a wrong perception. The right thing is that if you want to reduce the quality, so if you want to reduce the cost, so you need to improve your quality. So, but there is a cost of quality. Obviously, it requires you to improve the productivity. It requires to reduce the scrap, the rework, and the warranty of your products. So that's how you reduce the cost of quality. Ethics and quality management, we will be talking about next. These are the international quality standards, International Organization of Standard 9000 and ISO 14000. Basically, these are the practices, these are the basic quality standards which companies follow in their documentation, in their processes. So basically, these are the quality standards. Specifically for the documentation, the companies use International Organization for Standardization. Basically, they have made in different years, they come up with different benchmarks. Next. Total quality management is one of the very important concept, and which we all need to remember and understand. I want you to write it down, if you can write it down right now. If you have already written down, then it's very good. Continuous improvement, it is part of the total quality management. Six Sigma is basically five defects in million is a concept. It is called Six Sigma. So it has a different certification. You can go for the green belt, black belt in Six Sigma. So it means you know how to improve the process. So basically, it is the standardization of the process through which you reduce the defects of your output. This is the concept of Six Sigma, in which there is less variation. Employee empowerment is very, very important. Without empowerment, you can never achieve the total quality. Benchmarking is standardization, which we already talked in the last lecture, you remember. Just in time is when you do not use much resources, and you work on the demand which is just right now. You do not plan, you do not store the forecasted demand. You go with whatever the current requirement of yours. So whenever you go with the current requirement of yours, you always talk about the just in time. So Taguchi concept we will be discussing about it. Taguchi is basically the concept which is a Japanese concept. We will be discussing further. Knowledge of TQM tools. Knowledge of TQM tools are very, very important, and without TQM tools you can never ensure the continuous improvement. Next. These are the tools of TQM. We will be doing numericals of these. So you need to ensure your availability on Saturdays so that we can go through with these problems. These problems will be part of your 40 marks final. That is, I just confirmed with the examination department that yes, we can have a paper of 40 marks. So the 40 marks paper, you will be having the numericals of these topics as well. For example, I will be giving you the check sheet, the problem through which that can be solved through the check sheet. Okay? And Pareto chart. Pareto chart is also very important. So these are very, very important. Histogram you already know. In the statistics you have already studied histogram.
Yes, sir.
So statistical process control we will not be discussing in detail. So I will not be giving numerical on this. I will not be giving numerical on this. Flow chart, there's a little chance that I will be doing because it's a very easy one. So Pareto is very important and check sheet is important. Cause and effect is also less important. It's also not that important. Next. The role of inspection is very, very important. When and where to inspect, because there is a high cost of quality if you do not inspect timely. So this is very, very important, which we will be learning. Where to inspect, that what is the right department, what is the correct department, from where you start the inspection. Source inspection is very, very important because if the source is not making the product correctly, so you cannot assemble the components, you cannot manufacture the components which are made with the compromised material. Very, very important. So source inspection is very important. If the source is not correct, your end product, your finished product will never be up to the mark. Service industry inspection is also important. Inspection in the service industry is very, very important to maintain the quality. Inspection of attributes versus variables. So this is not in the scope of our discussion, but it is like characteristic when we talk about the inspection of characteristic versus variables. So, so when we talk about the variables, we talk about the other factors. And when we talk about the attributes, it means the functionality of the product. The functionality of the product and what are the factors which are affecting the functionality of the product. Last one is the TQM services. Next. So TQM services are very important. We will be discussing TQM services. Why? Because our economy is much more dependent on services. With every passing year, we are more dependent. Our GDP, our income is more dependent on the service industry. Okay? There are many more banks than ever before. Okay? There are many more distribution houses, distribution companies than ever before. There are many more logistics companies than ever before. Universities are there, many more. So there are many services, there is too much dependency of our economy towards services. So in that context, we will be studying the services. When you complete this chapter, you will be able to define the quality, the ISO International Quality Standard. We will not be going into the details. It's a very long topic. We will not be going into the detail. You just need to know that what are the standards for which documentation. Six Sigma, we will be discussing Six Sigma. How benchmarking is used. Very, very important. I already mentioned, I already gave you the, explain this concept with multiple examples. So I don't think it needs to be discussed more. Explain quality, robust products and Taguchi concepts. So we will be discussing about robustness means the strength, the life of the product. When the life of the product is increased, so the reliability of the product is much more. Use the 7 tools of TQM. This is you will also learn next. We already discussed about it. They use continuous improvement, employee empowerment, benchmarking, just in time, quality tools. Next. Quality in the strategy, managing quality, support, differentiation, very, very important. Managing quality supports whatever your strategy is. This is the most important slide. In fact, you see that anyone who has been in the industry, who has been working in any company, will not be able to develop a good strategy. But you are the one who has been through through a formal studies from any institution, they will be able to develop the strategy. So remember, managing quality supports your strategy of differentiation, the low cost and the responsive. Whatever your company strategy is, the managing quality will improve that or will make it sustain. Quality helps firms increase sales and reduce costs, which we already discussed many times. Does anyone want more discussion about it? Building a quality organization is a demanding task. It's not easy one. Demanding means the one which requires a lot of attention, a lot of focus, and a lot of resources as well. Next. So this diagram which we discussed before many times, remember the rework and the scrap are different. When we talk about the scrap, it is no good for you. It reaches to its salvage value. Salvage is the one who gives to the second-hand wholesaler. You give your product or your particular product to the second-hand wholesaler, and he sells to anyone who wants it. Anyway, for example, the car will be, if the car is of no use, so you give that car in the salvage value, that is almost the 1% or 2% or 10% of the whole car. Okay? And what happens? Why the one who buys the product? Why? Who and why buy the product? Any idea? If the product is not of any use of yours, it is very old, for example, 50 years, 40 years, 20 years, 10 years, etc. and it is of no use. It cannot function the way it used to be, like a car. So what would recycle? Very good.
Alright. Sir, if the product is special, we can store it for antique purposes.
Yes, but
for not.
Yes, obviously we cannot keep every car for antique purpose. Okay? So in that manner, you see scrap cost is basically the cost which is pushed you as an organization to discard your products. So you need to discard the product because of the quality complaint, because of the problems, It's very, very important. Because of the problems, the product is not up to the mark and no one is willing to buy the product. So what happens? You give to the organization who purchased the scrap. Scrap it's a waste. Okay? We call Kabadia. Kabadia is the one who purchases the scrap. Obviously, the value of the scrap is very meager amount. And the rework is when you invest more on the after manufacturing the whole product, on the cosmetic, on the improvement, on the refurbishment of the product. Okay? You try to improve the product in any manner. So in that you rework, refurbish the product. Warranty, does anyone have idea about warranty? What is warranty? What is warranty?
So the checking time for the product.
What is the difference between guarantee and warranty? When we talk about the guarantee? Ji?
Increasing quality will also help you lower down the warranty.
What is warranty? My question is. Very good. काबिल यूज है नहीं दिस इज नॉट द केस
जब क्वालिटी
सस्टेनेबिलिटी की एश्योरेंस देना कि ये चीज इतना टाइम चलेगी अब आपको इसकी एश्योरेंस देना बेस्ड अपॉन क्वालिटी के ये अच्छे स्टैंडर्ड से बनाए
वेरी गुड आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा
बोल नहीं पा रहा
तो द पॉइंट इज के वारंटी इज द मेंटेनेंस कॉस्ट ऑफ योर्स एंड द थर्ड पार्टी गिव्स द एश्योरिटी अबाउट इट्स मेंटेनेंस मिसाल के तौर पे यू हैव परचेज अ मोबाइल एंड द मोबाइल जोन इज टेकिंग द वारंटी एंड अबाउट इट्स मेंटेनेंस इट्स एनी प्रॉब्लम इट मे हैव सो ऑब्वियसली मोबाइल जोन हैज़ टू बी पेड बाय एनी कंपनी हु इज एक्वायरिंग सर्विसेज so mobile zone would be charging much more if the customers are keep coming to them with a new mobile phone. So what does that mean? It means your product is not up to the mark. So you see Mobile Zone start charging more. They will say give us 5% on every of your mobile. Why? Because we have to hire so many laborers because of your incompetency. Correct? Because of incompetency, you are unable to create a product which is up to the standard, up to the expectation of the customer. They are keep coming to us. There is a long queue of customers who are saying there is no voice, there is no mic is not working well, signal issue, whatever. So this is very important that the warranty cost must be remain very low so that you do not have to pay a big amount to the third party. Okay, that is a Mobile Zone. In my example, that is a Mobile Zone. Any questions so far? So the difference between the guarantee and warranty is a drastic one. Guarantee is the one which you, the company, the main company, the manufacturer, the OEM gives to the customer. For example, lifetime guarantee. It means if any problem would come in the product would be changed by the manufacturer. When we say warranty, it means the third party is involved and it is taking the assurity of it's working only. It's working only. They are not saying they will change the product. They will not change the product. They will only maintain the product, maintain its working and functionality. Got it? It's a very important point which you need to understand. When we talk about the reputation is like your brand equity. Okay? Your brand equity is like how many people are loyal to your brand, willing to buy your brand. What is your brand acceptance in the market among the competitors? So basically brand reputations develops when it is improved. It means its sales is improved, because reliability is improved. It's a very important factor which we need to understand. When we talk about the flexible pricing, it is a very tricky part. Flexible pricing is basically when we talk about the quality, sales gain via flexible pricing. You see, not every customer is interested in a very good specification. For example, if I want a mobile, I will not be buying a very high speed mobile, high CPU performance mobile. Why? Because I am not a gamer. You see? And this guy, suppose he is a gamer. He wants a mobile which requires a very high speed CPU. So because of that reason, there are different prices for both of us. Same company is giving different prices to both of us. Yes. So on different specification, the company give the different pricing. It's very important. That's how you improve the sales. Because company does not want to lose me as a customer. They don't want to sell to only gamers. They want to sell to the non-gamers as well. Got it? Next. Any questions so far in this? No. Next. So you see, when we talk about the customer satisfaction, that is the end of this, starting from the practices, principles, employee, and then satisfaction. When we talk about the satisfaction, it is the winning orders, repeat customers. Not only winning orders, it is a repeat customer. A repeat customer is the customer buy the same product because of some reason. There must be some reason, good reason. Otherwise, no one buy any product twice. Do you do that? When you don't like a product, do you buy again? No, we don't. In fact, we hate and we talk about it most of the time. Okay? And when the order is win means because of its functionality, because of its specification, because of its performance. So you see, the order has won. Repeat customer is buying the same product, recommending or giving a good word of mouth about the product because of the performance of the product. And the performance can only be attained through the quality. And quality can only be attained through employee empowerment and the defining of the principles and the organization practice. So you see, starting from the organization practices, then quality principle, then employee fulfillment, then customer satisfaction. So it's a sequential one. If I asked you in the exam, so you have to be in sequence. You cannot be out of sequence. If there is no organization practices, there is no employee empowerment. First, there need to be organization practices. Then we talk about the quality principles. Then we talk about employee empowerment. Then we talk about customer orders. Next. That's we already discussed. Okay? There are different view. We already discussed about the different definitions of quality. This is all it is talking about. Product based specification, take a manufacturing based specification, and user based. There are different views. So basically the user based view, based is the most important one, because the customer is important to you. Whatever you think about your product has no such importance than the customer. Next. Implications of quality, the benefits of implementing the quality is a company reputation, which we already discussed. By perception of new products, very, very important. If the company brands have a good reputation, then any particular company who has a good reputation can launch multiple new products, and it would be welcomed. It would be welcome. Like the example is, for example, one of the child of any parents is very well mannered, so the other children would be welcome, and the other assume that the other children would be behaving in the same manner. Likewise, company reputation, when one brand has a good prestige, a good reputation, then the other brand would be expected the same way. Employment practices are very, very important, because if the employment practices are unethical, like the Adidas, Reebok and big brands, they focus on the suppliers' employment practices, because they know that they can be in the news anytime. Why? Because the bad employment practices of their supplier. So they are very conscious about it, and they ensure the employment practices of their suppliers across the world, wherever they are having the supplies from. Philippines, Indonesia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, wherever, or African countries. Supplier relations are also very important. If the relations are better, then you will be able to design products which are up to the mark, up to the standard, and of next level. Well, you can compete in the market. If you are collaborating with your supplier, then only you will be able to provide as per the demand of the customers. Okay? Otherwise, the product will not be available in the market. The availability of the product is highly dependent on the supplies of the components, the raw material. That is why it is very, very important. Relation means you work together. Close relationship must be there. Product liability, reduce risk. It reduces the risk, because when you are not bothered about the warranty or the after sales performance, then your liability is less. For example, you are producing a racing car and your product is compromised. So what will happen? Anyone can unfortunately bump into another car or had a bad accident. Anyone can have. So in that case, you see, there is a high risk that your brand would be tarnished. Like what happened in Pakistan, the Boeing 737, I guess, which crashed in the Malir area. So their reputation was compromised. So they did a detailed case analysis that why the plane crashed, because they don't want it to be linked with the quality of their product. They never want it. And they explicitly, at the last, they publicized the statement that our product was up to the mark. It was not flight or not maintained the way it has to be. Very important. So you see, you reduce this. you reduce the liability and you reduce the risk when your product is up to the mark. Global implications, improved ability to compete. You can globally compete when you have a good quality product. For example, Japan products can be competed across the world. Good Chinese brand can compete, okay, in Asian market, especially in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. They have many brands, all the mobile, car, solar, and others, batteries. They are ahead of any other company. Because why? Because they know how to compete. They have the ability, and the ability is created with following the quality standards only. Next. These are the key note it down. Write it down in your notebook. These are the key dimensions of the quality. The question may come, what are the key dimensions of quality? What are the key dimensions of quality? So performance, features, reliability, conformance, durability, serviceability, aesthetics, perceived quality, value. These are dimensions of quality. What does that mean? It means the quality can be judged by these factors. These are the variables of quality. Here it's very, very important that you need to understand, if the aesthetics are good, it means quality is good. Ji. What is? Conformance. Conformance is following these standards. Comply with the standards. So ये comply से, it has been derived from the word comply, compliance, conformance. Okay, let's discuss the performance. Performance means whatever expectation is set by the marketing department, by the marketing team, by the branding team, it has to deliver it. That is why it is on top. It is the one which is known by anyone, any user, no matter he is amateur or an expert. He must know how to use, how to get the performance from the product. Features are the features which must be there in the description, in the details, and it can be publicized at the time when we talked about the next. When we talk about the performance, the features can be talked about it. Reliability is the reliance of the customer on the product. That is called the reliability. When there is consistency of performance of the product, it means it is reliable. When we talk about conformance to the standards, whatever the standards, the company is conforming that. Durability, it has long lasting. Durability means it has long lasting. For example, BMW cars are durable cars. Okay? When we say German car, so they are durable cars. Ji? Conformance is how close you are to the standards. How conforming you are. How complying you are to the standards. Okay, when we talk about the serviceability means, no, it's not. Serviceability is that the product can be serviced by the company or not. Okay? It can, serviceability means the product will be giving whatever it is being publicized. Or it can be maintained in a way. The maintenance, if the product can be maintained, it means it is the serviceability. For example, the Park Suzuki car has good serviceability. What does that mean? It means it can be maintained well, and the spare parts are available. The reworking is possible. Okay? So that is called the serviceability. Aesthetics are very, very important. Unfortunately, in the Pakistan, in our market, the aesthetics are completely ignored. if any service or the product is made by our country manufacturer or by our service provider, what happens, the finishing of the product is not up to the mark. So aesthetics are very, very important. You see any South Korean brand or any Japanese brand or any European brand would have a very astounding aesthetics. Okay, fascinating kind of aesthetics. And when the aesthetics are fascinating, the customer is attracted more towards the product. Yes. Yes. Looks. Yes. Aesthetic means beauty of the product. Beautification. Perceived quality is very important. कि what customer perceive as a quality, or what company perceive as a quality, or what is the principle of company towards the quality. Perception of quality is very, very important. Value is when the product has value, then only the quality can be talked about. When there is no value, there is no market value, then there is no talking about the quality. So you always look for the value when the quality is there. Otherwise, value is very, very important. That the market value, what is the market value? What is the competitor's standing of your product? Okay, let's finish our today's lecture. Any questions so far?